July heat, 5 weeks, 1 pencil. July 10, 1947. New Delhi. Viceroy's house compound. The ceiling fans are spinning at full speed, their metal blades whining as they shove hot air from one corner of the room to the other. Outside, the cicadas scream in the trees. Inside, sweat runs down the spine of a man who should not be here. Sir Cyril Radcliffe sits rigidly at a broad wooden desk, his back straight despite the heat, despite the nausea churning in his gut. He is wearing a heavy woolen suit, London tailoring, thick and unforgiving, already darkened with sweat beneath the arms. The fabric scratches his skin, made raw by heat rash. Every few minutes, his stomach tightens, warning him that the infection he picked up on arrival hasn't finished with him yet. In front of him lie maps. Not fresh surveys. Not living documents. Old sheets, creased, yellowed, some torn at the edges. Punjab, Bengal. Rivers traced in blue ink. Railways in thin black lines. District boundaries drawn by men who never imagined what would be demanded of them 20 years later. Radcliffe lifts a pencil. It feels heavier than it should. He has been in India for less than 48 hours. Before this week, he had never set foot on the subcontinent. And yet, in 5 weeks, no less than that now, he is expected to decide where India ends and Pakistan begins. 400 million people. 2 new nations. 1 line. The door opens. Footsteps. The smell of tobacco and cologne cuts through the stagnant air. Lord Louis Mountbatten, the last Viceroy of India, enters the room with the brisk confidence of a man who believes momentum can solve any problem. His uniform is immaculate. His smile practiced. "Cyril," Mountbatten says lightly, as if discussing a dinner invitation. "We're advancing the timetable." Radcliffe looks up. He blinks. Advancing, how far? Independence will be August 15th. Radcliffe does the calculation instantly. His mind, trained in contracts and deadlines, snaps to attention. 36 days. 36 days to redraw the fate of a civilization. "That's impossible," Radcliffe says, his voice thin but controlled. "This work requires years. Surveys, hearings, field visits. You cannot divide Punjab and Bengal by." Mountbatten cuts him off. "Delay is more dangerous than haste. Violence is already beginning. If we don't act now, we may lose the country entirely." Radcliffe understands, in that moment, that the decision has already been made. He is not here to advise. He is here to execute. Mountbatten leaves. The door closes. The fans keep spinning. Radcliffe is alone again, with the maps and the pencil. He has been chosen precisely because he knows nothing. No friendships here. No loyalties. No memories of villages or shrines or family lands. In London, this was called impartiality. In Delhi, it will become something else entirely. He was a safe choice. A legal mind from Oxford. A man who believed rules could contain chaos. A man who would do his duty and not ask what followed. Outside this room, the British Empire is collapsing under its own weight. Britain has won the war and lost the peace. London is still pocked with bomb craters from the Blitz. Bread is rationed. Coal is scarce. The public is exhausted. The new Labour government under Clement Attlee has no appetite for another war, especially not in a distant colony simmering with communal tension. India, once the jewel in the crown, now looks like a liability. The balance sheets bleed red ink. The intelligence reports speak of riots, strikes, assassinations. Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, decades of grievances sharpening into weapons. Leaving without a plan would mean civil war. Staying would mean blood on British hands and British coffins coming home. So the Empire chooses a third option: draw a line, then leave. Radcliffe is given a bungalow inside the Viceroy's estate. It is quiet. Too quiet. He is assigned 4 judges to advise him, 2 Muslim, 2 Hindu. On paper, balance. In practice, paralysis. Every proposal collapses into accusation. Every discussion becomes a shouting match. Radcliffe watches them argue, then dismisses them. The door closes. The lock turns. From that moment on, the empire's most consequential border is drawn in near total isolation. He studies the Punjab first. Wheat fields, rivers branching like veins, railways converging on cities whose names he can barely pronounce. He traces a river with his finger, thinking it might make a natural boundary, unaware that it floods and shifts every monsoon. He sees straight lines on paper, not the villages stitched together by marriage, trade, and memory. At night, the power cuts out. A candle flickers beside the maps. Shadows stretch and recoil along the walls. Somewhere beyond the compound, Delhi murmurs with uncertainty. Radcliffe writes letters home to his stepson. He complains about the heat, about the pressure, about time slipping through his fingers. He does not write what he truly feels, that he is afraid. Afraid of the responsibility. Afraid of being remembered. He eats alone, works 16 hours a day. His world narrows to paper and graphite. Each stroke of the pencil feels final, irreversible. He has no soldiers to command, no crowds to address. Just a desk, a deadline, and a lie the empire has told itself, that borders can be drawn cleanly, that people will obediently rearrange their lives to match ink on a map. The pencil hovers, and then it touches the paper. Welcome to Cinematic History Stories, where we don't just tell you what happened, we take you into the room where history was decided. The pencil touches the paper, and with that single motion, Sir Cyril Radcliffe steps into a role no man should ever have been forced to play. The first problem is not geography, it is noise. Every morning, the four judges arrive at the bungalow, their white clothes already damp with sweat, their tempers flaring before the day has properly begun. 2 speak for the Muslim League, 2 for the Indian National Congress. Each comes armed with statistics, petitions, and warnings delivered with theatrical urgency. This district must go to Pakistan, one insists, jabbing a finger at the map. If you do that, you condemn hundreds of thousands of Hindus, another snaps back. They argue over census percentages, 51%, 54%, 62%, numbers wielded like weapons. They argue over rivers, rail junctions, market towns, shrines. Every line Radcliffe considers is denounced as an act of betrayal by one side or the other. Within days, the pattern becomes clear. Advice is impossible. Consensus is a fantasy. Radcliffe listens, nods politely, and then sends them away. He locks the door behind them and returns to the maps. These maps are his only companions now. British Ordnance surveys from the 1920s, drawn with imperial confidence, as if the land itself were static. But India is not static. The Punjab in particular has been transformed by irrigation canals carved into the soil by colonial engineers. Entire villages have risen where the maps show nothing but blank space. Radcliffe cannot see that. On paper, a canal is a line. In reality, it is life itself. It determines which fields grow wheat and which turn to dust. It decides which villages eat and which starve. Ownership is layered and complex. Hindu landlords, Muslim tenants, Sikh middlemen, but the map shows none of this. Radcliffe draws anyway. He believes, or perhaps tells himself, that rivers are neutral. That railways are logical dividers. That straight lines are fair. He does not know that rivers in Bengal shift their course every year. He does not know that railway lines bind communities together rather than separate them. He does not know that a Sikh Gurdwara and a Muslim graveyard can stand side by side for centuries without conflict, until a line turns proximity into hostility. Security becomes another obsession. Intelligence reports warn of assassination attempts. Radical groups are rumored to be watching his movements. Radcliffe stops leaving the bungalow altogether. He refuses invitations. He avoids conversation. Every Indian face feels, unfairly, like a potential threat. Isolation deepens his reliance on abstraction. People fade into numbers. Villages become dots. Lives become margins of error. The heat does not relent. His stomach illness worsens. He loses weight. His shirts hang looser on his frame. The fan rattles overhead like a failing engine. Then there is Punjab, the breadbasket of the north. A mosaic of Muslims, Hindus, and Sikhs living in uneasy proximity. Here, the problem becomes insoluble. The Sikhs. They do not fit. They are neither Hindu nor Muslim. Their holy city, Amritsar, sits dangerously close to Lahore. Their land is spread like a patchwork across central Punjab. There is no way to give them a state of their own, no way to draw a border that does not tear their community in two. Delegations arrive, tall men with flowing beards and steel bangles, their voices shaking with rage and desperation. They speak of sacred shrines, of martyrdom, of promises broken by the British crown. Radcliffe listens in silence. On his map, Sikh holy sites are scattered points. He cannot connect them without destroying everything else. He chooses what looks neat. Lahore to Pakistan. Amritsar to India. A clean decision. Logical. Defensible. On the ground, it means catastrophe. A Sikh farmer 10 miles west of Amritsar will wake up in Pakistan, a religious minority, overnight. A Muslim shopkeeper east of Lahore will suddenly be in India. Families will be split not by ideology, but by inches of graphite. Radcliffe moves east. Bengal presents a different nightmare. Kolkata, industrial, congested, essential. The countryside around it is overwhelmingly Muslim. The Muslim League demands the city. Without it, East Pakistan will be an economic orphan. Congress refuses. Kolkata is a Hindu-majority city, the cultural heart of Bengal. Radcliffe weighs numbers against viability, demography against economics. He gives Kolkata to India. In doing so, he condemns East Pakistan, future Bangladesh, to decades of poverty and resentment. But that future is invisible to him. He is not thinking in decades. He is thinking in days. As August approaches, the work accelerates. Speed replaces caution. Judgment replaces study. In one district, Gurdaspur, the decision becomes pivotal. The area has a slight Muslim majority. By the rules, it should go to Pakistan. But it contains road access to Kashmir, water headworks, strategic arteries. Radcliffe hesitates. Then, with a small, almost imperceptible movement of the pencil, he gives it to India. That flick of graphite will echo through wars not yet fought. Late at night, alone with a candle, Radcliffe stares at what he has done. He knows it is crude. He knows it is wrong. He knows that villages are sleeping under lines they cannot see. He nearly destroys the maps in a moment of rage. But he does not. He is a British civil servant. You finish the job. The lines stretch on, through fields, through marshes, through houses split down the middle, through a mental asylum in Lahore, dividing patients by religion. By August 12th, the work is complete. Radcliffe is hollowed out, exhausted. He gathers the papers, ties them with string, and hands them to Mountbatten. He expects the truth to be released immediately. He does not yet know that the worst decision is still to come. Radcliffe hands over the maps, believing, naively, that the truth will now be told. Mountbatten takes the bundle of papers and studies them in silence. He understands immediately what Radcliffe does not yet grasp. These lines will ignite the subcontinent. Sikhs cut in half. Muslims furious over lost districts. Hindus panicking in suddenly hostile territory. The border is not a solution, it is a fuse. And Mountbatten looks at the calendar. August 15, 1947. Independence Day. There will be speeches, flags, fireworks. The British Empire's exit must look dignified, clean, victorious. So he makes a decision that will cost millions of lives. He locks the maps away. The borders will not be announced until August 17th, 2 days after independence. Let the British leave first. Let the responsibility fall on the newborn nations. Let history blame chaos, not command. On the morning of August 15th, the Union Jack comes down. In Delhi, Jawaharlal Nehru speaks of destiny. In Karachi, Muhammad Ali Jinnah speaks of faith and freedom. Crowds cheer. Bands play. 1 billion people breathe the air of independence for the first time. But across Punjab and Bengal, something is wrong. No one knows where they are. Police stations don't know which laws apply. Soldiers don't know which orders to follow. Villages don't know which country they belong to. Rumors tear through the countryside faster than any army ever could. You're in Pakistan. No, you're in India. They're coming tonight. Fear fills the vacuum left by silence. And into that fear step the men who were waiting. When the maps are finally released on August 17th, the uncertainty ends, but terror begins. Millions discover, all at once, that they are on the wrong side of the line. And the message becomes brutally simple. Leave. Or die. What follows is not chaos. It is organized violence. Trains, symbols of modernity, become slaughterhouses. Refugees pack the carriages until no one can breathe. Militias tear up tracks and board trains mid-journey. When they arrive, the doors open to silence. Bodies stacked where families once sat. The ghost trains. They arrive in Amritsar, in Lahore, in Delhi. Sometimes the driver is the only survivor, carrying a note, proof that the message has been delivered. Those who avoid the trains walk. 15 million people on foot. Columns stretching for miles. Children on shoulders. Bundles on heads. Bare feet blistering on burning roads. The elderly collapse and are left behind. Mothers make choices no human being should ever face. And they are hunted. Cavalry charges. Massacres at river crossings. Villages surrounded at night, set ablaze to flush people out. Women abducted by the tens of thousands, used as trophies, as weapons, as warnings. This is not war between armies. It is neighbors killing neighbors. And where is the empire? 50,000 British troops remain in India, armed, trained, capable of stopping much of the killing. They do not intervene. Orders are clear. Protect British lives. Prepare withdrawal. Do not get involved. Officers sit in their compounds, listening to screams beyond the walls. The empire that once claimed it ruled India for order and law leaves behind neither. Sir Cyril Radcliffe is already gone. He boards a plane and returns to London as the fires begin to spread. In Mayfair, he opens the newspapers. He sees the photographs. He reads the numbers, 200,000, 500,000, 1 million, eventually 2 million dead. He refuses his £3,000 fee, sends it back, says he cannot accept payment for such suffering. It changes nothing. He never returns to India. They'd shoot me, he once says. He lives until 1977, carrying the map in his mind until the end. The line he drew does not fade. It hardens. India and Pakistan go to war within months. Then again, and again. Nuclear weapons rise on both sides, aimed across the very path his pencil traced. Kashmir burns, still unresolved. The border becomes one of the most militarized on Earth, so brightly lit at night it is visible from space. A glowing scar. The trauma of 1947 never leaves South Asia. Every family remembers something. A lost sister. A burned village. A walk that never ended. The line was arbitrary, but it became absolute. And that is the lesson. Borders are not drawn by God. They are not inevitable. They are not clean. They are drawn by men, sometimes tired men, rushed men, ignorant men, who just want to go home. Sir Cyril Radcliffe never stepped foot in India before 1947. Then he divided it. And the cost was paid in blood. I'm David, and this has been Cinematic History Stories. If this story made you pause, if it made you angry, If it made you see a map differently, then remember why we tell these stories. Because history doesn't end. It echoes.